Hi, welcome to this video. I'm in the Lake District and I'm going to go and visit Loughrigg Tarn. This is the last video from my trip to the Lake District. If you haven't checked out the other two, go and check those out afterwards. But I'm taking this one a little bit easier. After the last few days of walking, I want something quite gentle. And this is quite a nice little amble up to this tarn. And it's actually quite quiet. I think it's a little bit less well known. Despite everywhere being really rammed because it's a bank holiday weekend, this one is quite quiet. I had planned a more adventurous walk, but I definitely don't feel I can manage that today. What's the point in suffering? Just enjoy your photography. While I'm walking, I'm just contemplating what a difference the weather is from yesterday to today. It's just night and day almost. Yesterday I was in a jumper and a big coat and it was raining, and today it's glorious sunshine and I'm in just a t-shirt and I'm still quite warm even at that. But what an amazing scenery. Just let me show you where I am at the moment. So I'm just coming up there. We can just get our first view of Loughrigg Tarn, and amazing scenery all the way around. Cracking. Just found a quite nice composition just here with this old tree stump that's obviously fallen down and gone quite rotten, decayed, but it makes some good foreground interest with the tarn there in the background. And I've been blessed with a little bit of sun just catching this at the moment that I took the shot. What I've done is I've put a 3-stop neutral density grad on the front of the lens just to hold back the sky because that's a little bit bright, but still, I think that's quite a nice little composition. I've included several shots of this scene just to show you how moving around can make a big difference to the composition. In this first image, it's quite wide and the tree stump in the foreground is quite small, but it gives more emphasis to the tarn. So when I move around to this second shot, what I've done is I've moved a lot closer to the tree stump. And it's made it much bigger in the frame and made it more dominant, but that's had the effect of making the water in the background less emphasized and smaller. But what I did realize with this shot is that the tree stump was fairly central, so I took a few steps to the right and this pushed the tree stump off to the left, which I think is a better composition because in a way the tree stump acts as a leading line and it points towards the tarn. And then finally it's almost the same shot but with slightly different lighting conditions. You can see in the trees in the background there's some sunlight on them, and so it changes the effect. It's almost the same composition but the lighting can make a big difference. Finding compositions here might be slightly tricky, partly because it's very sunny and that's going to just really limit what I can take at the moment, and the tarn doesn't actually seem very large, and so whether it's got an abundance of interesting features I'm not sure, but it's a pleasant walk, it's a lovely day, it's a great way to end my trip up to the Lake District. This shot is actually a crop in of the previous shot, but I just really liked the way that the light was catching the hills in the background. Now, the foreground interest is not quite as strong as the last shot, but I think it simplifies the image and I still like it. And in this last shot, it's a typical fence going into the Tarn that you see a lot in the Lake District, but I like the tree on the left and the stump on the right, and the way that the lighting just came through and the sunlight just caught this tree in the foreground. Possibly it is a little bit messy and it probably could have done without the tree that's catching the sunlight in the foreground. That might have made it a cleaner image, but I still like it. The wind's really picked up. I've had to put a jumper on. You can probably hear that on the microphone. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave Loughrigg Tarn, I'm going to wander back to the car and I'm going to sum up my 2 days in the Lake District on the walk back. If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to like, subscribe and click the bell notifications to be informed of all of my future content. Lots of people who watch these videos don't subscribe, so if that's you, do me a favour, click the button below, it really helps the channel. That's the end of my 2 days here in the Lake District. I have had some changeable weather. Yesterday was rainy, today's been sunny. I haven't had anything really epic, no epic sunrises, no sunsets or mist, but I still think that I've got some pleasing pictures. When you come on a last minute photography trip like this, you just have to take what the weather throws at you. You just have to make the most of it and still enjoy yourself at the same time. As always with photography, there's been some highs and lows. I've really enjoyed the visit to the waterfall yesterday. That was really spectacular. The shots that I got this morning on the side of Buttermere I'm particularly pleased with. It's a shame that the light didn't happen last night. I sat waiting for about an hour and nothing happened. But equally, you can't get upset by that. That's just part of photography. While I was waiting, I was sat in some beautiful scenery and I was having a really lovely time. If you are lucky enough to spend a night or two away just concentrating on your photography, I'd really advise doing that because it gives you more time to think about compositions, you can wait for better lighting conditions, and it's just much more relaxing. Loughrigg Tarn was a lovely place to visit and it was a great walk, but unfortunately I didn't get a lot of photography there, partly because of the day being very bright and partly because the place was very small, but I still enjoyed myself. Hope you've enjoyed my Lake District series. If you have, don't forget to click like, subscribe and the bell notifications, that way you won't miss out on any of my future content. Watch out for next week's video, that goes live at 4 o'clock on Sunday, but all that's left now is to say stay safe and I'll see you soon. Because this video didn't have as much content, I'm going to give you a special reward of some extra bloopers. This is the last video. Oh, hello. Feeling a little bit tired. I'm going to start this again. Yesterday was when I visited. Cool. I can't remember what it's called. I think that is. I'd really advise it. Oh, where's this path going now? Hope you've enjoyed my Lake District series. If you have, don't forget. If you need to wait. Nearly fell. I think when I get them in the camera, oh, what a tit.